A 24-year-old man, who was seen in an iconic photo defending counter-protesters from Confederate flag-waving men with a homemade flamethrower, was sentenced to nearly 1 year in jail, but with all but 20 days suspended. Corey Long, who was 23 when he showed up to oppose the Unite the Right neo-Nazi and white supremacist rally last August, was sentenced in his hometown of Charlottesville, Virginia, on Friday after being found guilty of disorderly conduct. A more serious assault charge against Long was nollie prost, or dismissed, because the prosecution was unable to get in contact with the alleged victim, Baltimore Ku Klux Klan leader Harold Cruz. Several activists were arrested as they protested Long's conviction outside the Charlottesville General District Court. Steville Weekly reported that prosecutor Joe Platania argued that Long should serve no jail time for the conviction. Long, who is African American, told The Root last year that the August 11th and 12th far-right-wing rallies started as a peaceful protest but turned ugly after one of the Confederate flag-toting white men, Richard Preston, allegedly pointed a gun at Long before firing a shot down at his feet. As seen in a P photographer Steve Helber's now famous picture, Long sprayed a blast of fire using a modified aerosol can and a lighter. He told The Root it was his only defense after it was thrown at him earlier in the protests. The picture from Emancipation Park shows a shirtless Long standing in front of an elderly white man who is attending the counter-protest as he holds the flame towards several white supremacist rally attendees. Long told the court he resorted to the makeshift flamethrower only because the police officers were doing nothing to protect the counter-protesters from the right-wing rally. The cops were protecting the Nazis instead of the people who live in the city. Long told the court, WVIR-TV reported. The cops basically just stood in their line and looked at the chaos. The cops were not protecting the people of Charlottesville. They were protecting the outsiders. Long's legal advisor, Malik Shabazz, told the local station that Long made an ethical decision to stand up against racism and injustice, and sometimes standing up against those decisions you'll be rebuked by the American court system. On Friday morning, as dozens of protesters gathered outside the courtroom to support Long with chants of "Cops and the Klan go hand in hand," the judge sentenced Long to 360 days in jail, but with 340 days suspended. Long was also given 100 hours of community service and 2 years of good behavior probation. WVIR-TV reported that Long thanked his supporters, saying, "It's no sweat. But would I do it again? Hey, you never know." His legal team did not indicate whether they would appeal the judge's Friday ruling. Under Virginia law, inmates with good behavior serve about half of their sentence, so it is possible that Long will be imprisoned for about 10 days. Black Lives Matter Charlottesville and other organizers of the Drop the Charges campaign issued a statement saying they were outraged that Corey Long has been convicted for simply asserting his humanity in the face of white supremacist violence. After August 12, thousands of people across the country celebrated Corey's image as a symbol of resistance to the violent white supremacist incursion on Charlottesville. Now Corey has been convicted by Commonwealth Attorney Joe Platania in the courts of a crime for his brave actions to protect Charlottesville. What hypocrisy! The banner reads, "Fighting white supremacy is not a crime."